Hi everyone, this is Animal Paw Pony, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about um, my opinions and thoughts in regards to the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic TV show. Since this October, it's officially its 10th anniversary and 1 year since the finale of season 9. And I want to just discuss my opinions on its impact and also some thoughts in regards to what are going to become later videos, specifically theory ones, in regards to the series. But I want to just give a quick overview of my thoughts since this is, again, its 10th anniversary. So let's get started. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic has had quite an impact on the world. Not only its target audience of little girls as well as selling toys, which was its original intention back in the 80s, but also has had an impact on guys as well becoming fans and or bronies. However, I think there's a main reason to this. I think the reason overall is the idea that back then we didn't have many cartoons that seemed to pique a lot of people's interest, minus specific ones such as Gravity Falls, Steven Universe, and others similar to them. With My Little Pony, it was based on an original franchise that many were already familiar with, and by improving the character qualities as well as learning lessons, the world building, the vivid colors, and other qualities that the original series never had, it just made for a much more enriching environment and show overall, on top of learning lessons. Sorry. On top of this, it was also interesting to see the characters grow, and honestly, it kind of went from just a simple show to being really engaging with teaching lessons, character development, world building, etc., like I've already mentioned. In fact, you could even put this on par with other shows such as sorry. You could also put this on par with other shows, not just with Steven Universe and Gravity Falls, but also other ones like The Lion Guard, although I know that one's also had a mixed audience, but others like that, where they would try and expand on an already existing property and would try and improve it in different ways, whereas the original didn't. However, as much as this was a huge accomplishment for MLP, there were some downsides. Originally, there were only supposed to be 3 seasons, which is why Twilight turned into an aliquot at the end of season 3. I feel honestly like had they known they were going to be doing the series for 9 seasons, then Twilight becoming an alicorn in some ways was sort of unnecessary, because she could have learned other lessons without the need of becoming an alicorn. I know her becoming an alicorn really separated the fandom in regards to many people saying she didn't need to be, and I can certainly understand it from their perspective, but at the same time, I also feel like it also helped improve Twilight's abilities of not only being respected as a princess, but also learning lessons that she wouldn't have been able to know otherwise, or rather learn otherwise, had she not had the ability to fly. Also, this helped her go toe to toe with other ponies like, say, Starlight Glimmer when she altered the timeline in regards to the season 5 finale and everything, though, again, that's a episode that's also mixed and such. But I'm not talking about mixed episodes, I'm just mentioning all of this in regards to the series as a whole. Now, in regards to other characters, there is another complaint I want to address. I know people have mentioned that certain characters have had to learn lessons over and over again, like Fluttershy and such, and on the one hand, I can see how that would get annoying. But on the other hand, take this into consideration in regards to the characters themselves. Do you think that they truly can only learn something once and never have to learn it again, or conquer it from a different perspective in regards to friendship lessons? No. I feel like doing this was a smart idea because realistically, that's how people act. They don't just learn a lesson once and then that's it. No, you have other varieties of learning a lesson or perspective, so to speak, and I feel like this gave it a much more richer, albeit sometimes annoying, perspective in regards to how this lessons could be handled overall. However, there's another thing I want to mention too. Honestly, I feel if they had ended at season 7, I would have been satisfied, because it would have been at least a somewhat decent finale for the show. Had we known we were going to get what we got in 8 and 9, I feel, again, like 7's conclusion would have been a satisfying ending overall. Granted, I'm not saying any good episodes we got in 8 and 9 wouldn't have been worthy of seeing. No, I absolutely feel like they would have. Such examples, of course, were Sounds of Silence, episodes with the Student 6, such as the Heartswarming Club, and other ones such as Twilight 7, Dusk and Dawn, Between Dusk and Dawn, and a variety of other episodes. However, I mention all of this just as a personal preference. However, one of the biggest issues is that we got a ton of writers that were new, and a lot of the original writers simply left for other projects and such. This, however, I feel sorry, this, however, I feel did have a negative impact on the show. We got introduced to the concept of the friendship school, which they hyped up to Dickens in the announcements for season 8, but really the whole thing was used as nothing more than a big setting. We rarely got to see the main students learn anything in regards to the young 6, with Twilight and their friends being the teachers. Yeah, we didn't really get to see them teaching much and everything. And on top of that, a lot of episodes were either repeats, albeit bad ones, of episodes that we've already seen. But on top of that, it just didn't have a straightforward concept of what it wanted to be. The Student 6 were obviously the best parts, albeit I feel like they could have gotten way more development than what we got compared to, say, like a Heartswarming Club, where, yes, there were bonding with them as a team, let alone as friends. But even the concept of, say, having them have individual episodes would have also been good. Granted, we did get episodes like that in season 9 in She's All Yak, as well as the uh, episode with Smolder's brother, which, by the way, spoilers, Garble, which, yeah, I don't buy that. Yeah, between Sweet and Smoky, that episode. But still, even with individual episodes like that, I really wish we had gotten more development with the Student 6, because they really, really could have deserved better. In regards to others, like the Pillars of Harmony, I thought those were fantastic additions in Season 7. However, and this has led to some of my theory videos, I do have some theories in regards to how the series could have been better overall. What do I mean by this? Well, Star Swirl. I feel in a way like as powerful a unicorn as he was, you can easily see in the finale of Season 7 and other episodes that he didn't understand the concept of friendship, which gave him more of a jerkish kind of side. And honestly, whether some fans have predicted this or not, or whether it's confirmed or not, I personally feel like a lot of the problems in regards to the princesses not solving problems and everything can actually be related back to Star Swirl, which I'll do a theory on in a moment. In regards to Starlight Glimmer, I feel in a way her progress as a pony was good. However, one of the issues I had is that, for example, in the Season 7 finale, a lot of times Twilight and her friends get hit with the stupid stick and don't end up remembering stuff they should be, in order to make it so that way Starlight's the voice of reason in regards to her understanding what's right and wrong, and being the one to give the solution. And giving the solution in regards to what needs to be done to solve the problem. Personally, I feel like this isn't a very good idea, because I feel like she should have grown more as a pony, and Season 6 absolutely didn't help. She barely learned any friendship lessons and only really got friends by being friendly towards other ponies such as Trixie towards the ending of the, in regards to episodes in that season, as well as future ones, like tackling Trixie being stubborn and everything, and of course, a variety of other ones. However, I feel like even with that, and with other additions like Thorax, which really, I feel like she only got to be friends with him only because of Spike, and also Discord because she had to work with him in the Season 6 finale, I really feel like that was really the only reason why she even considered them to be friends. I really feel like more progression in regards to her making friends with them was necessary. And overall, compared to, say, other ponies like Sunset Shimmer, I really feel like Starlight kind of got the short end of the stick, and it wasn't necessarily a good idea in regards to her character. And although I like her arc in some places, it really could have been improved on. In regards to other ones, however, hold on. Sorry about that. Whoops. Sorry. In regards to other stuff, however, I also want to mention another thing. Cozy Glow. Okay, I'm gonna defend her for a moment, but I also don't consider her to be a good villain. Here's where I stand. With Cozy Glow, I feel like being 12 years old and learning the lessons of friendship, I really feel at times like from her perspective, I think what she tried to do child-wise was take the lesson of friendship is magic too literal. What do I mean? I think what happened is that when she was learning stuff in the School of Friendship, she took the concept of friendship is magic not as if you have friends, it can be a magical experience by bonding and learning about each other and getting over problems and such. No. I actually feel like she took it the literal way, where it was, oh, if friendship is magic, then if I have more friends, then I'll be able to get more, real, actual, powerful magic, like as an energy source. Yeah, if I have more friends, I'll be able to make myself more powerful and actually get, powerful energy magic by making more friends. So yeah, I feel like she took it the literal version, and this is even confirmed in the finale of season 8, where she flat out says to Twilight, why? Because if the Princess of Friendship doesn't have as many friends, then I'll be more powerful by having more friends than you. So yeah, she basically took it the literal perspective of the more friends I have, the more magical energy I'll be able to have. Except not only does this fall flat on her face by not making any sense, and also, if she was actually taught the idea of how powerful magic is in regards to Twilight and her friends defeating the other villains, and also the idea of, say, for example, Chrysalis and her subjects, yeah, the only reason that she was as powerful as she was because she, attacked in numbers. Not because she had subjects that she was friends with and was able to grow stronger. That's just one example of how Cozy Glow's whole plan fell flat. On top of that, any friends that Chrysalis or anybody else did make, just because you had friends didn't mean you became more physically powerful, like I mentioned before. But at the same time, I feel like Cozy Glow misinterpreted any friendship lessons as I'm gonna take it literally as in, oh, if I have a certain number of friends, I'll physically be more powerful, and that'll make me more powerful than Princess Twilight Sparkle. No, I feel like she just manipulated or misinterpreted the information, which of course was not supposed to happen. Also, this also falls flat in her face a second time because she's a Pegasus. She is not in any ways a unicorn. So how on earth would she be able to even use physical magic? Like I mentioned, the magical energy blast like for battles and such that unicorns have. How would she be able to do that if she's a Pegasus, for crying out loud? The only thing she can do is fly. And yes, we saw in the season 4 finale that Tyrek took the magic of the Pegasi's ability to fly. However, that's a different version of magic compared to, say, Twilight blasting Tyrek in the season 4 finale. So not only does her whole logic fall flat when you look at it from the series as a whole, it doesn't make sense, period, when you consider the kind of pony she is. Also, Chrysalis. I like that they had her come back 2 or 3 times, but really, the Mean Six, that was one of the worst episodes of season 8. It did absolutely nothing to improve Chrysalis's chances of getting revenge on Starlight, but on top of that, it just made her not be able to control the discorded Six. You know, when Discord in season 2 had the main 6 be discorded, in other words, being the opposite of themselves. Yeah, basically Chrysalis just couldn't handle those even though it was through her own magical means. But yeah, she basically couldn't handle the discord in main 6, fell flat on her face, and it just made her look stupid. Why did someone think that episode was necessary, let alone a good idea? I have no idea. However, going back to season 8, I feel like the school concept was just pushed way too much to the point where it just felt like they're gonna mess this up, aren't they? And lo and behold, they did. The only good thing that came out of the school friendship was the student 6. But like I mentioned before, they did not get the amount of screen time that they desperately deserved in order to feel like a worthwhile contribution. Even in the finale, as phenomenal a job as they did, as emotional as I got, as impactful their contribution was, I feel like the student 6 deserved way more attention than what they got. Because honestly, I feel like if had they gotten more attention, it would have really improved the impact they had in the finale of the series. Now, apart from all of this, I do have some other complaints in regards to the series. As much as I don't like season 8, despite the things it was trying to accomplish but ended up failing in, as much as I don't like that, there are other contributions. For example, Flurry Heart. Why was she even put in this series in the first place? The only thing that she was good at was teaching Twilight a lesson in one season 6 episode. Not the premiere, mind you, but a later season 6 episode. The reason I mention this is because when you look at Flurry Heart as an alicorn from season 6 to season 9, she's still a baby alicorn, and we really don't see much about her apart from the standalone episode she had with Twilight. And really, apart from, say, seeing aspects of her personality in that episode, we really just don't get much with her. So with that in mind, why was she even introduced in the series in the first place? I feel like she was only put in there for the sake of the cute factor. You know, having a character that's super cute that people are either going to like or not like. Really, that did absolutely nothing in regards to her character or the series as a whole. You could have taken her out and literally lost nothing apart from, say, what happens at the Crystal Empire much later on in the last episode, The Last Problem, where, yeah, we see sort of what happens, but it's really through stained glass window imagery. But still, nonetheless, all I'm saying is that I wish Flurry Heart had had a bigger impact on the series, and really, I feel like her addition was really pointless because, again, she just stays an Alicorn baby all the way up to the finale and everything, and apart from that, she really just adds nothing apart from the cute factor. Heck, Twilight even says in the last finale of the show that if they fail, the Crystal Empire is the last standing fight against the villains, especially being Flurry Heart being the last hope. Okay, Twilight, if that's the case, tell me what Flurry Heart could do that could defeat Chrysalis, Tyrek, and Cozy Glow in the finale with them having the magic of Grogar, which I'm going to get to that in a moment. But still, explain to me, Twilight, Main 6, any pony, how would Flurry Heart have been able to defeat the villains? What would this have done? How would this have been a worthwhile conclusion? Seriously, tell me what she would have been able to do. Yeah, that's exactly where I stand on Flurry Heart. Her addition just added almost nothing, and if you took her out, you really wouldn't be losing much. In regards to other stuff, I'm going to skip a little to the changelings. For the season 6 finale, the changeling designs, first off, what were they thinking? Everyone pretty much hated and called it a terrible OC. Granted, I do feel like over the seasons, you got used to the designs and they weren't bad. But when you really stop and think about it compared to, say, the original changeling designs... Also, I apologize for the shakiness of the camera. But still, when you take into consideration their original design, I just have one question. How did changing their designs better them as characters? You could have literally had them have the exact same designs as before, but instead of changing into, say, an odd-colored deer with dragonfly or butterfly wings and have other really unusual designs about them. Instead of that, you could have kept them the same changelings, just have the personalities and loyalty switch from being villains to friends. So I really don't understand why that change was necessary. If anything, it just seems like wasted potential because it really did nothing but just change their appearance. Yes, I get the idea that by being friends, the appearance also needs to change. But I really don't understand why that would have been the case. Heck, this actually gets contradicted in the episode to change a changeling. Because when Starlight and Trixie go to the Changeling Kingdom to help Thorax get his brother Pharynx reformed, one of the things we actually see is a flashback from Thorax to when him and his brother were kids and how he was mistreated and bullied. But you can still see aspects of Thorax in their childhood being the timid, wanting to be friends kind of person. And as far as I'm concerned, what on earth did that do? Why didn't he change when he was a child? One moment. Sorry about that. But going back to the point I was trying to make, what on earth did that do for him as a child? I point all this out because in the flashback, we see Thorax as the shy, timid, but kind changeling who wants to get a better understanding of friendship but can't due to the environment he's in, aka Chrysalis's, changeling army and such. But apart from that, you see aspects of his personality even when he's a child. And as far as I'm concerned, if he still had aspects of that with his personality, along when, he met Spike in, their episode in season 6. Yeah, if he had aspects of him being curious and friendly and shy and everything, albeit not friendship friendly, I get that. But overall, if he had aspects of being friendly and such as a child, as well as meeting Spike in their episode in season 6, then why on earth did he not change before then? Again, I understand the idea he didn't have the full concept of friendship, but he had little specks of it here and there, so why didn't he change then? It literally makes no sense when you think about Thorax's backstory, and furthermore, it just adds nothing of context to the finale of season 6. If any changeling had aspects of friendship like Thorax did, why didn't they change sooner? And yeah, like I said, you could have had the original design, but not changed their appearance, and really you wouldn't have lost much. In fact, it would have been an even bigger screw you to Chrysalis, honestly. You could have had them have the exact same appearance, but changed their allegiance to Twilight and her friends. And so the whole idea of, yeah, we're going to change our allegiance even though our physical forms don't change, but this is evident that friendship works. Yeah, that would have even been a bigger betrayal to Chrysalis, in my opinion. Also, I'm going to start going into the more detailed stuff I didn't like in regards to the finale and such. In regards to the finale, a lot of the thoughts that I have are very similar to Miss Anthropony, where he basically pointed out that the guards are still useless even in the finale, which has become more than just a running trope, and really makes a big insult to the military and Equestria. I say this because what's the point of having guards if they're literally going to do nothing? No, seriously, you could write them out of the whole series and nothing would change. That's pretty... yikes. That's a huge misstep. Also, another thing. Why on earth were the pillars defeated so easily in the finale? I get that Tyrek having the magic of Grogar's bell made him more powerful, but they should have at least been able to put up half a decent fight. Keep in mind that they were stuck in limbo with the Pony of Shadows, and even at that time, they didn't change all that time they were gone. They technically were still in their prime, so why couldn't they have given Tyrek half a decent fight? Having them be overpowered and just overshadow them like that just makes the pillars look pointless. Or rather, not pointless, it just makes them look weak compared to, say, being the main heroes of Equestria before Twilight and her friends. So yeah, that's even something that I also have issue with. Another thing that I feel needs to be addressed right now is Grogar. According to a tweet that someone sent the show staff, they asked why Grogar wasn't the big bad, and they basically wrote it off as, "Ha! You really think we were going to have a new villain overpower 3 villains that we've had for seasons? No, they were always going to be the star of the show." Which, in my opinion, again, this is my opinion, if you disagree or agree otherwise, that's fine for anything I've said in this video. But, from my perspective, what in the name of Equestria were they thinking? You had an old villain from the original MLP series return. He was a big, major threat, not only with the magic he possessed, but on top of that, necromancy, which we saw in the premiere of Season 9, raising those who have passed from the dead. Yikes! I mean, for goodness sake, that's how we got Chrysalis, Tyrek, and Cozy Glow, although they didn't die, they were just either going mad or imprisoned or somewhere else. However, we did see this in regards to Sombra, and though Sombra wanted to act alone and not follow Grogar's orders, this still showed a good decent amount of what Grogar was capable of. Heck, in the Frenemies episode, he even used his magic to pin Chrysalis, Tyrek, and Cozy Glow against a wall, and when he did that, he flat out said that none of them could beat him because his magic was, quote, more powerful than all 3 of them combined, and the magic he was using to pin them against the wall was a mere fraction of it. Had this been the real Grogar, oh goodness, he could have even been a match for Discord, for crying out loud. Seriously, if it was just a fraction of his magic to pin 3 baddies against a wall, I can only imagine how powerful he would be, and if he could potentially be even Discord in a fight. In fact, that would have raised the stakes even higher. Because, again, Discord was the being of chaos and disharmony. But if you have a being that's just as powerful, if not stronger than Discord, gee willikers! That would have only made the stakes even higher. Heck, you could have had him give some of his magic to Chrysalis, Tyrek, and Cozy Glow, keep the rest of it to himself, but still be powerful enough to go toe-to-toe, if not beat Discord. And oh my gosh, you would have had a disastrous amount of team-up, villain-wise, that Twilight and friends never would have seen coming. And on top of that, they could have attacked multiple locations at once if they wanted to. You could have had Chrysalis go after the Changeling Kingdom if she wanted to. You could have had Tira go against the Pillars and others. Cozy Glow against the Pegasi. You could have had mayhem all over Equestria, and Twilight and friends would have really struggled with that. And then the face-off against the villains, an old enemy that is so strong that he even rivals Discord. Gee willikers! I mean, if that had happened, could the elements of Harmony or even Twilight and her friends being, as strong as a bond as they were in their friendship and everything, along with the elements of Harmony, would it really have been enough to defeat Grogar, Chrysalis, Cozy Glow, and Tyrek? I don't think so. They really could have ended up in a scenario where, Grogar and the others would have given them far more than a run for their money. Heck, they could have almost won. Oh my gosh, if that was the possibility, this would have been a finale for the history books. Not to say the finale we got wasn't for the history books, but I'm just saying, when you look at the scenario I presented, look how much higher the stakes would have been, and it would have been just as good as the finale we got. But then again, like I mentioned, even I have my issues with the finale. But I mentioned this alternative because, spoilers, Grogar wasn't real, it was Discord. And the reason he did this, he wanted to have the villains attack Twilight during her coronation of being ruler of Equestria in order to prove to everyone that she's the princess everyone deserves to be, and to prove that Twilight is the ruler she always was meant to be. Personally, I don't think so. Twilight already had that confidence in previous seasons, and really, I honestly think he was just doing it to amuse himself. I don't think Twilight would have gained any confidence in that circumstance, and she would have panicked, which is what happened in the finale. Once Discord revealed his plans, it was clear that he was only doing it for his own selfish deeds and amusement. And really, once Twilight had the feeling of none of our successes were real because Discord planned all of them, yeah, way to misfire, Discord. Also, no, Twilight, all those situations were not Discord's doing. Those were real villains you did fight, and you gained confidence over time, but once Discord's plan of him being Grogar and everything got shunned to light, and everyone found out what happened, yeah, Twilight panicked and basically went back to her season 4 self of, I don't have the magic of friendship with me all along, this was all a trick, I'm doubting myself, blah 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 blah. Granted, I'm not saying it wasn't a good personal struggle for Twilight, in a way it actually would have been a good struggle, I'm just saying it was mishandled. But yeah, the whole Grogar thing was a huge misfire with it being Discord for the finale, and heck, not only does it misfire in regards to Grogar, it actually undoes Discord's involvement too. We've seen him improve in friendship and everything, albeit mainly with Fluttershy, over the seasons and everything, but this also ruins Discord's arc. In the season 4 finale, he got betrayed by T-Rex and felt really bad about betraying the main six because he never had a full understanding. Because he never had a full understanding of what friendship truly was about and why it was so important. Once he betrayed them and saw how hurt Fluttershy and the others were, that's when he got a better understanding of just how badly friendship is supposed to be treasured, along with being betrayed by T-Rex himself. Because he basically explained that T-Rex thought... Because basically he explained in the finale of season 4, I thought T-Rex could give me true friendship, but he couldn't. He just used me and lied and gave me this medallion as a sign of our friendship. But when I give it to you, aka Twilight, and say it's a sign of our trust and friendship, I'm telling the truth. The only reason that Discord was able to trust Grogar was he gave him something that Discord never thought he could get. Freedom. The idea of not being set in stone with a destiny of always having to be a Lord of Chaos held by strings of friendship. In other words, not being able to do what he wanted to do because Celestia and Luna held him accountable, as well as Twilight and friends with elements of harmony, as well as the ability of, being friends and having to not cause mayhem. Yeah, once T-Rex had Discord on his side, he gave him a chance of freedom in a sense where he could just be himself no matter how chaotic he was. Unfortunately, by the time T-Rex betrayed him, Discord realized that, yeah, he gave him freedom, but what was that freedom, really worth? Was the freedom even worth it if it meant betraying the friends that he truly cared for, let alone made over the last 3 seasons or so? Because honestly, once he realized what he did, it wasn't worth it anymore. And then by giving Twilight the necklace, that's how they were able to open the chest that was with the Tree of Harmony and get even stronger in their friendship. This was the development they ruined in seasons 8 and 9, especially 9 with Discord being Grogar. Again, major misfire. You take the scenario I presented, it would have been almost the perfect finale. However, even the finale I have issues with. Because, 1, the only development the Student 6 have is rounding up the allied kingdoms and such. Which, granted, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But in fact, that was a really good idea. The only problem is that because we don't get much development with the Student 6, I feel like as much as it is a worthwhile contribution and it really shows their growth and friendship, I feel like if we had gotten better episodes with individual concepts of what the Student 6 were like and everything, it could have left an even bigger impact. Also, just the fact that the unicorns were the ones who protected Twilight and friends when the villains were going to blast them and that's what saved them, that actually leaves a pretty dark conclusion. What do I mean? Ever since that point, friendship, apart from, say, the season 6 finale, apart from the season 6 finale and other finales such as this one and season 8, yeah, in those scenarios, the magic of friendship wasn't really much of a match because they were dealing with villains from a different point of view. However, there is something I'm also going to mention. Every single finale or premiere we've had that has had Twilight and friends pit against a villain, the magic of friendship in their bond has always been the very thing that's been able to defeat the villains. The elements use their bond of friendship and transform it into a physical form of energy, which at this point has defeated many villains. But keep in mind, the elements were only a part in it. It's really Twilight and her friends and their bond of friendship that's been able to protect them magically and defeat the villains. We even saw this in the first Equestrian movie in regards to Twilight and friends against the Storm King, although they got help from Tempest in that one. But more specifically, we actually got this in the first Equestria Girls movie. And keep in mind, they didn't even have the elements, because Twilight went to the human world. But her friendship with the humanized version of the main six is what allowed them to defeat Sunset Shimmer when she was still evil. As a result of that, we've seen time and time again that they don't need the elements of harmony to defeat villains, just the rainbow itself and everything. But in the finale, it's presented as if, oh, you're going to be destroyed by the villains and there's no friendship that's going to save you. I really would have liked to hope that the friendship would have saved them, but by having it be the unicorn magic combined that saves them, it just leaves a rather dark implication that this is the one time that had Tyrek, Cozy Glow, and Chrysalis actually blasted them, they would have died. Because, again, they implement that it was the unicorn magic that was able to save them, not their friendship. Which, again, I hope friendship would have been the answer in a way. Yes, it would have seemed cliche, but I really would have hoped that would have been the answer compared to, say, unicorn saving them, because imagine what would have happened had that not been the case. And also, this leads to my final thing in regards to what I don't like about the finale. Remember how I just mentioned a moment ago how there have been many times where the elements have basically allowed the bonds of friendship of Twilight and her friends to be in the form of a rainbow, but we've also had other examples where that's not the case and they didn't need the elements. Yeah, one of the complaints of season 8 and potentially 9 was the writers clearly had no indication of past seasons, let alone other lessons that the main characters have learned in past seasons, and we saw that in season 8 where there were lots of lessons that were basically repeated but in a different way but done poorly in season 8. However, you think that's bad? They actually made a mistake twice in regards to season 9. And I mentioned this on top of the elements of harmony and the bond of Twilight and her friends with the rainbows and everything, because I want to present a scenario that I'm going to explain in a future theory video, but I'm mentioning this because no one has mentioned this yet, and I feel like it's about time. You want to know the one big mistake that I hated in season 9? I hate the fact that in the finale and the premiere episodes, Twilight says that I now understand the power of friendship and that we didn't need the elements. The elements were just symbols. The real magic has always been our friends and the bonds we made. Yeah, she's basically said that in the finale, but keep in mind she said, I now understand that we didn't need the elements. The elements were just symbols. I bring this up because they also messes this up in the season 9 premiere, where Twilight and her friends think they need the elements in order to stop Sombra with the Crystal Empire. Discord keeps hinting to them they don't need the elements, but Twilight's using it as a backup. And when the Tree of Harmony gets destroyed, goodness! Yeah, the elements are destroyed and they don't know what to do. And this leads to the big thing that I have a huge issue with season 9. And this right here confirms the writers have never seen not only earlier episodes, but also most likely have never even watched the first 2 episodes, let alone other episodes in the franchise. Why do I say this? Because when they face Sombra, their concern is not having the elements of harmony. Obviously, because those, as well as the Tree of Harmony, got destroyed. Their solution to defeating Sombra is Discord sacrificing himself, which he admits later on was a fake, because there's no way he could be defeated by Sombra, because of how powerful he is. But also, he basically spells out out for the main characters, Twilight and her friends, that they each represent the elements of harmony. In other words, he doesn't flat out say they need the elements, he's spelling out for them that they represent the elements of harmony. Pinkie Pie, you will always be funny. Rainbow Dash, you will always be loyal. Applejack, you will always be honest. Rarity, you will always be generous. Fluttershy, you will always be kind. And Twilight, you will always be magical. You don't need the elements to defeat your enemies. The real magic is inside you all along. Yeah, this, to me, was the straw that broke the camel's back. Really stop and think about what's going on here. A supporting character, a side character, is telling the main characters of the show that they represent the elements of harmony and that they don't need the elements of harmony stones to defeat their enemies, because by representing the elements, they already have a strong bond of friendship. Their friendship was formed because of their representation of the elements of harmony, and is that relatability to the elements of harmony and their friendship that's allowed them to defeat their enemies and release the magical rainbows that have defeated their villains because of their special bond of friendship and the magic inside because of that bond. Why do I point this out? Let me repeat this one more time. A side character / supporting character is telling the main characters of the franchise that their bonds of friendship and individual qualities represent the elements of harmony, and because of the bond and magic of their friendship, they don't need the elements, and that the magic has existed in them all along, and that's what's been defeating the villains. I mention all of this, including Twilight's quote of the elements were just symbols in the finale, because that right there confirms the writers haven't even seen the premiere episodes. Why do I make this a big deal? Because had they seen the premiere episodes and other past episodes, they would have known that Twilight and Friends from season 1 to season 5 and even 7, they would have known, based on the show's history, Twilight and Friends already knew this. Twilight and Friends already knew they didn't need the elements of harmony, and that their bonds of friendship, both as individuals with certain qualities that represented the elements of harmony and working as a team, and their bonds of friendship, is what allowed them to experience the magic of friendship, what makes friendship itself so special. And that special bond of friendship has allowed them to release the magical physical rainbows that have defeated their enemies like Nightmare Moon, Discord, Tirek, and many others. Their individual representation of the elements, along with their bonds of friendship, has allowed them to experience the magic of friendship, the true magic of friendship, and been able to defeat their enemies because of that. This was also emphasized not only in the first Equestria Girls, but other Equestria Girl movies as well. What I'm saying is, the very speech that Discord gave to the main six in the second half of the premiere, and Twilight saying in the finale that the elements were just symbols, this is something they should have never had to relearn, because they already knew it. This was the biggest misstep in the entire series, reprising something that Twilight and Friends already knew, but presenting it as an inspirational or impactful moment when it was absolutely unnecessary. Goodness! As if I thought season 8 was bad, this just confirmed the writers have never even seen much of the series. If anything, they haven't even seen the premieres. This was the biggest misstep in the entire series. The reason I'm getting so upset about this, it completely undoes everything that Twilight and her friends have done. Translation: if you want to understand how bad this is? Imagine everything Twilight and her friends have learned in regards to friendship and the magic of friendship from seasons 1 to 7. Imagine having all of that gone and having to relearn it and having all of that, albeit very short and not as impactful moments, having all of that be the arc of the last 2 seasons. Because that's exactly what it was, as well as being emphasized in the finale. What? Are you kidding me? You redo the process that Twilight and her friends have had from learning about the magic of friendship, what makes the magic of friendship so powerful and special, and what's allowed them to defeat their enemies thus far. You redo it and you put it in the last season, let alone imply that it's going to be happening potentially within the second of the last season. Although, yes, I know they didn't do it, but I just had a feeling that there was a possibility given how bad season 8 was. But still, you undo all the progress that Twilight and her friends have made in regards to learning about friendship, what it represents, what it means, etc. for the last 7 to 8 seasons, and you just redo it and refresh it in season 9 and just completely undo all that process? Oh my goodness, what were you thinking? Yeah, this is the reason why I don't like season 9. It presents something that Twilight and friends have already learned and known about for the past several seasons, and just presents it as if it's something new when it's not. And it presents it as if it's supposed to be inspiring and necessary to defeat their enemies, but Twilight and friends already learned these lessons. It's like redoing the whole series in 1 or 2 moments of the last season when it's completely unnecessary because they already knew these lessons and growed on them. This is the reason why I don't like season 9. It completely undoes the process that the characters have done, and honestly, that's unacceptable. That really is unacceptable when you're considering the final season. I'm sorry, no, that's unacceptable, and this should have never happened. The only reason being that they had new writers, and all of this, my angry rant about this, just confirms they have never even seen the premieres, let alone tried to understand the concept of the series as a whole up to that point. This, to me, was the biggest mistake of MLP, and I'm going to revise something. Given what we got, had I known what we were going to get in seasons 8 and 9, I stand by what I thought back in season 7. Had the season 7 finale been the last episode and last season, I wouldn't have minded. It would at least have seemed worthwhile and decent compared to what we were going to get. But I will be going into further explanation in detail in regards to why I have such an issue with the reset of Twilight and her friends in the season 9 premiere and finale. But I also want to do some theories on why I personally think Star Swirl is responsible for Celestia, Luna, and Celestia not solving problems. Oh yeah, I'm going there. I really think them not solving problems is his fault. But I also want to go into detail about Starlight and how I feel like her character was often pushed to the side or used as the smart pony when the main 6 or other characters got hit with the stupid stick. You know, not being as smart in order to have someone else solve a problem that the main 6 or others should be able to, solve based on their past experiences. Yeah, I'm going to be going into details and stuff like that. But I wanted to bring all of this up because I feel like given a year passed since the finale and the 10th anniversary, I feel like this stuff needed to be said. Now, granted, am I saying that because of the mistakes and everything that MLP is bad? Absolutely not. MLP has also had a big impact on my life, not just in regards to the characters, the relatability, but even the lessons that they've taught both kids and adults can learn from. The world building, the vivid colors, the character development, so much of this just grew into a phenomenon that no one would have ever expected. Like I said, the character development, the lessons learned for both adults and kids, world building, everything. The continuity, although it's not the best, but it's pretty decent. Yeah, all of this is why I still believe MLP Friendship is Magic Generation 4 is one of the best shows of the 2010s. And honestly, give it a watch. You're not going to be satisfied with every single episode or character development, and I understand that. But as a whole, it's still a pretty dang strong, impactful series. And heck, I still want to get some more DVDs of this, especially later seasons. And yeah, the only one I have right now is the MLP movie and also Friendships Across Equestria. Sorry, yeah, the only DVDs I have right now is the MLP movie released back in 2017 and Friendships Across Equestria, which, by the way, I actually got signed by Tara Strong, aka Twilight Sparkle herself. So, yay! And also, that DVD included the 100th anniversary episode. So, yay! But yeah, I just wanted to give my thoughts about that and just tell you guys where I stand in regards to the series because I really do feel like some of this stuff deserved to be said, given just reflecting on the series as a whole. But again, I'm not bashing it. It's still a really good series, and I highly recommend everyone to watch this. But like I said, you're not going to be pleased with every character development or episode, and that's a given, unfortunately. But I'm just saying that I wish we had gotten better than what we actually got. Regardless if you agree or disagree, feel free to comment. Tell me whether you agree with me on some points, disagree, whatever. I want to hear what you guys think. I don't know if it was upside down, but I apologize if it was. But yeah, I wanted to just list my thoughts in general because looking back on the series, these are honestly my thoughts in regards to how I feel for the series. And I'm just kind of disappointed we didn't get something like what I was hoping for. And there's actually one last thing I want to mention. In regards to the army that they got when the student six were rounding up the kingdoms, even that I felt was misused. Oh, you're going to have them go to the three big baddies and just distract them to get Twilight to safety? Excuse me? Couldn't they have done anything to try and, oh, I don't know, damage them, even if it was minor? I mean, for crying out loud, you even had the dragons blasting fire above the villains' heads. Burn T-Rex horn or his hair or anything else like that, yes, I get it. The army that they had going and distracting the villains, it wouldn't have been as strong to defeat them, but really the only worthwhile thing was the yak stomping the ground, making the villains lose their balance, and also the Pegasi and the changelings and others, flying at Cozy Glow, making her spin out of control like a top in midair. But I'm just saying, I wish we had got better. Also, especially considering that the army just runs back to everybody else and just stands there. Really? You have the kingdoms of Equestria and you're not just gonna full on attack? Really? You couldn't have just done that? Even if it was half the army? I'm sorry, but I don't understand why they couldn't have done that. Yes, I know it would have been a lot of cameos and a lot of drawing and everything, but I'm just saying, use your army to the best of your intentions. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know my thoughts. And whether you like them or not, comment down below. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts and everything. But after a year of the finale and everything, those are just my thoughts. But still, this is still a really good series, and I do encourage everyone to watch this. But I just wanted to emphasize you're not going to get a gold star every single time, so to speak. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.